Welcome back to Dragon Ball Anime Review Part 3. Yeah, I'm doing second take at this one, simply because, the reason is pure and simple. My computer, for some reason, keeps having an error when kind of trying to save this particular video, so I'm just going to take it down and just redo it from scratch. Yep. This one I'm discussing, the Red Romanari Saga. Yep, the Red Romanari Saga, which covers episodes 29 to 45 and chapters 55 to 69 of the manga. Yep, this arc obviously introduces the Red Ribbon Army, and these following members of the Red Ribbon are introduced in these episodes. Colonel Silver, voiced by Christopher Sabat. General Blue, Ader, Major Metallitron. Sergeant Mitsuki, he's the ninja guy. Staff Officer Black, also voiced by Christopher Sabat. Commander Red, and I'm trying to think there was anybody else. No, I think that's it. Those are the only characters I can think of that were introduced. Yeah, it's something though, Sabat. Now, when you think of Christopher Sabat when it comes to this franchise, you think of only 4 characters. Yamcha, Master Roshi, Piccolo, and Vegeta. Yep, just these 4. But he has voiced roughly 50% of the cast. Oh yeah, and Shinra is also voiced by him as well. Yep. Now, in case you're wondering, what was Staff Officer Black and Commander Red doing these episodes? Well, they don't do much of anything. They're just there. Basically, in case Staff Officer Black, up until the Commander Red saga, he does virtually almost nothing except inform Commander Red what's going on. You see Commander Red doing various things throughout these few arcs. Like, the guy himself has got a big ego where he hates being short. Yep, he is short. Really short. He looks like he's about, I'd say he's probably about 3.5 feet. And that's just purely guessing. My guess, he suffers from dwarfism. That's my personal guess. He basically has red hair. That's the Commander Red comes from. An eye patch. And occasionally speaks with an Irish accent for some reason. I have no idea why, but he does. Yep. Of course, in the case of Staff Officer Black, when you look at him, the way he depicts in this anime, compared to his later appearances in the movies, he's depicted in a very racial depiction with the big pink lips thing. Yes, in case you're wondering about that, that is an old racial stereotype that had been around since Civil War. Luckily enough, when they depict black people in fiction now, especially in cartoons, they depict it much more accurate than how they depicted originally. Yeah. Also, Staff Officer Black is a big bulky guy. Like, it's very stereotypical of Christopher Sabat's characters. Yep. Now, the first part of the saga. Now, I should point out, though, the first episode counted as part of the saga. Episode 29 had nothing to do with Red Ribbon Army. Absolutely nothing. This is pretty much an epilogue to the World Tournament arc. Now, Goku basically mentioned that he wanted to go out and search for his 4-star Dragon Ball, but runs to Nam, does this whole little touching the groin, which, yeah, in case you're wondering, he stops doing this. He stops doing this because I think that the animators probably realized, though, yeah, it's getting stupid. Let's just stop it, do Nam. And he's going to go back to his village, and yep, it runs to the water he got from the tournament, and realizes, though, that, yeah, not enough, this water lasts for a good period of time, but it won't last forever. And he realizes, though, he sees that the river's dried up, this is why he later meets with Goku, goes to find out the source, and he meets up with his old rival from the World Tournament, Gregorian, who I think comes back later on after this, where he says, do you have a grudge against me? He's like, no, not really. That's basically the match. We'll have a rematch later. But we need to get rid of this wall. He's like, how? It's impossible. It's made with the same gum I basically chopped you with. Like, no worries. I'll use my Kamehameha. I'll destroy it. And he destroys it with the Kamehameha wave. Yep. After that's done, that's it. Nam is not seen after this until the Tien Shinhan saga. Yep. And after that, start episode 30 up until episode 67. It's all Red Ribbon Army saga stuff. Yep. This one introduced to Colonel Silver. Yeah, also in this episode, we'll introduce Red Ribbon Army itself. Also, their base operations is introduced here. Goku doesn't go there to Commander Red, and it's a fantastic looking place. I got hands the architecture of this place. It's fantastic. Yep. And let's see what else. Yeah, so they try to look for the Dragon Ball. Silver, of course, when he meets up with Goku, he gets the crap beat out by Goku. Oh yeah, and also before he has to fight Goku, they had this thing where, oh yeah, he's depicted as the most ruthless member of the Red Ribbon Army. You see him working out with weights and destroying them, and then he's punching a punching bag, destroys that, and he beats a bunch of boxers. Yep. Oh yeah, and also he apparently doesn't like wearing a shirt. Yeah, he hates wearing a shirt, so have him go shirtless wearing a jacket. Okay? He's only around for the first portion of these episodes. After he gets beat by Goku, he goes back, of course, when he gets back to headquarters, he's taken up off screen and presumably executed. Because Robbie doesn't like, basically, people who fail. Goku, of course, does find one of the Dragon Balls, and of course he gets away from there, playing with a robot, playing crashes in a frozen area. He's rescued by a adorable little girl, a redhead, who sleeps in foot jammies, mind you. And there's a joke like, "Can I keep him? He's a boy. He's not a pet." That was so funny. It's implied that she might like him, but in case you're wondering, does this go anywhere? No, not really. Yeah, it's something though. This goes nowhere. Also, not long after this of course when he's fighting Colonel Silver. Also, Pilaf returns here. Yep, Pilaf returns prior to this. Yeah, Pilaf returns. After this, he disappears for quite some time until he shows up. He shows up in Winter Saga after this, but his last appearance in this series is in King Piccolo. Yep, King Piccolo. He's here briefly at the beginning for like a few episodes, and he runs into basically Colonel Silver after he gets sort of defeated when his fortress crashes. He hands off the Dragon Ball he got, and that's that. That's the last see of him. He's only here for about 3 episodes, and that's it. Yeah, as for where Pilaf gets his money from, it's never explained. He's probably just rich. Yeah. Mai and Shu were wearing the same outfits they wore in the Pilaf saga. What these three have been up to since that saga wrapped up, no idea. The series never explains it at all. Yet it never explained it. Then pretty much like right after that's after they did with Silver, and when General White comes in, yeah, his introduction is quite interesting. Yeah, because first you have Goku goes to the house, he spends the night there, goes to the tower to rescue the village who've been taken. So he pretty much plows his way through the first couple floors, no problem, and then he comes across a character who has been confirmed he's based upon Arnold Schwarzenegger, and appearance-wise, not only Arnold Schwarzenegger, but also from the T101, T100 from the Terminator movies. Yeah, because Toriyama was basically a big fan of those movies, so why not base on them? Yep, and he's figuring robots. After a kind of a longish battle, he gets defeated by Goku after like 2 Kamehameha waves. Yep. Moves next 4. Fights Jards Mitsuki for a couple episodes. Even does a shout, he does basically stuff did with ninjas, like throwing shuriken, having a sword, though for some reason when he also does the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which reveals the 5 brothers, and has one have a gun for some reason. Ninjas are not known for carrying guns, yet this one does. And he's evil. And after all of them are defeated except for one, he's like, okay, I'm going to unleash my android on you. Android number 8. And he's a pacifist. And this character is basically heavily inspired by the universal version of the Frankenstein monster. Yep, I am not kidding about that. He is clearly based on him. The only difference is he doesn't have nails in his neck, but clearly he's based upon the universal interpretation of the Frankenstein monster. After he turns against Sergeant Mitsuki, which of course Goku knocks in the wall, they move on to the next floor. Of course, they pass by floor 5, because there's no door to floor 5. He does know a lot about Muscle Tower. Muscle Tower is its only appearance in this particular saga. Yeah, as it first shows up. It's a very interesting little set of episodes fighting all these floors. And he also, after he frees him, he goes to this labyrinth, and he basically, here's the thing about Ader. He's called Ader by Goku. He knows the blueprints of this place really. changed except for the maze. Yes, the maze. Which pretty much just has this wall, and basically Ader's like, yeah, it turns out this wall was actually put here afterwards. Yep, as they go walk to the next floor, they pass the floor 5, which got no doors. He says that he doesn't know anything about the 5th floor aside from the fact it's classified. And I figure, okay, everybody's beaten in Muscle Tower except for one person, General White, which they kind of briefly fight him. They about to fight him, and he gets dropped to the next floor. Actually, fight him briefly, and he gets beaten, and of course, then they get dropped to the 5th floor, which fight Batroc, I think his name is. He's an electricity monster. Goku beats him by freezing him. Then they go back to the floor, and that's, of course, when they had the village city freed. And then when Goku is shot by... Goku and Ader are shot by General White, Ader gets mad and throws General White out the freaking window into the abyss. And then the other tower, Goku takes time to, of course, he gets his code for, he's given a code by the little girl. I don't remember her name. And like Ader's like, okay, we're out of the tower, get the village, we got one thing left to do, destroy the tower. And he proceeds to rip some hole in the wall, and the tower gets knocked down, completely destroyed. And also, he has a bomb in him, and he's offered to say it, and he can't say because he got bombed. So one of his is a scientist who's a village, who's basically a local nut. Let's have him basically with the bomb. Like, okay, take the little girl with them. And I thought this was really adorable. The fact that she actually was sitting on the shoulder half the time. Mitsuki is able to survive the destruction of Muscle Tower. How the heck he survived is never explained. Yeah, a lot of some characters in the series are really unexplainable. Like how one character survived 2 Kamehameha waves, blasts to the face, and survived with barely a scratch on him. So he visits a good doctor, and he's also visited by Mitsuki, who proceeds to knock out Goku and it's kind of take his Dragon Balls in his bag. And it's not the Dragon Balls in the bag, it's actually his lunch. Rice balls. The Dragon Balls are kept in a separate bag, and after Mitsuki is defeated, well, the bomb is moved from Ader, and of course the bomb is thrown at Mitsuki, which presumably kills him. Oh, in case you're wondering, Mitsuki himself never reappears after this, as far as I know. Yeah, this is the only time he shows up, and that's it for him. So, Village would offer to basically Ader stay with him. He declines at first, at the bomb's movie, yeah, he'll stay with him. And it stayed the night, and of course they go off to and Goku realizes, though, that after his battle with General White, his Dragon Radar is damaged. So, he goes visit Bulma. Well, first, basically, I should point out, though, that he thought that I forgot to mention this, he thought that Nimbus Cloud was destroyed. But it turns out, nope, it's not destroyed. And he calls it, flies away, and goes to see Bulma. And, yeah, this is where we have introduction to West City and the Capsule Corp headquarters. Yeah, the Capsule Corp building is a frequent place, not in Dragon Ball itself, but mostly in Dragon Ball Z and Super. They love using this location in those 2 series. It's also appeared in GT, but not very much. But mostly just in DBZ and Super. GT I'm not going to barely mention because, well, the Capsule Corp building doesn't really appear very much at all. It appears briefly at the beginning of the series. It appears very vaguely after GT toward the end of the series. So, Goku goes visit Bulma, and he did not know this. He did not know she was rich, and basically she's the daughter of a business head, basically the owner of the Capsule Corporation. So, she fixes the thing, and goes and eventually look for Dragon Balls. Before they go, let's go on an adventure. Let's go to the amusement park. And of course, Goku asks about Yamcha, and apparently their relationship on the rocks. Why? Because he's got a fan club, and she doesn't like it. And they go to the amusement park, and of course, while Yamcha's there, he meets a beautiful fortune teller who happens to be a thief hired by the Red Ribbon Army. Her name is Husky, she's voiced by Laura Bailey. Yeah, an actress who's worked both for Funimation and Viz Media. This woman is actually responsible for basically bring Colin Clickenbeard. If I read a line, she basically brought Colin Clickenbeard to a voice audition, and apparently Funimation loved her voice so much they hired her from what I heard, they hired her, and she's still part of this very day at Funimation. So you gotta thank Laura Bailey for bringing the awesome Colin Clickenbeard to Funimation and doing all of her awesome work. So if it had been for Laura Bailey, we would not have the awesome Colin Clickenbeard voicing all our awesome characters. Yeah, Hatsuki herself only appears for just a couple episodes, and that's it. She's basically, appearance-wise, mostly based upon a bad launch. Yeah, and what's Launch up to during this whole set of episodes? Well, she is basically just, well, of course, Roshi's being pervert, and just, well, wants to basically see Launch naked and basically probably grope or whatever. Yeah, and of course, Bad Launch basically tricks into basically a massage and basically food, which he's really terrible at. And that really much is it for Roshi in this particular saga. It's also real the Kami House has moved back to its island when possibly after the World Tournament wrapped up, but it's never really explained of like did he use the same boat to come back for Large Island? It's never explained. In case you're wondering, this house remains on this island for pretty much the rest of the franchise. It never moves ever again. It stays the same spot. It never moves. Which I'm like, really? You move it once and to this large island, you move it back, and you keep it there for the rest of the franchise? Okay, my guess is the reason they moved it probably because they didn't want to do anything else with it. That's my personal guess. Yeah, but not much else to say about this particular saga. It's really good. Good start to this particular saga. Next arc is the General Blue. Oh, and before I go for this particular video, I'm gonna yeah, that's pretty much it for Raven Armor Saga. Yep. So next video I'm gonna do right after this will be General Blue Saga. I'll talk about that, okay? See you next video. Bye.